Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm going to finally come around and talk about pre-comps. There's some small finer details I wanted to mention regarding pre-comps. Alright, so first, why am I wanting to make a pre-comp? The reason is that there's two reasons. First is because in the timeline, the layers, there's a whole bunch of layers now, and but the layers are all about the film strips, so that's one good thing. Less things to kind of trip over and think about what about this, what about that, to exclude from the pre-comps. But instead, it's all about one thing that I'm just gonna all shove it together and to kind of package it up. The other reasons why creating a pre-comp is because of the frame rate. Yeah, meaning that the main comp is running at 24 frames per second. I like to animate at 24 frames per second rather than 30 frames per second. And also, but then the footage, most of them are running at more or less 30. This one is 30. This is 29.97, which is basically 30. This is 31.579. I don't know how or why the hell the person chose that. Whatever, but it's pretty much 30. This is the only one that's 24. That's my own I guess title reveal thing, which is running at 24. And that's the only one that will throw a bit of a hitch, where it'll be kind of clunky when it animates because of the frame rate difference. But that's whatever. This one is at 30, this one's at 60, and from what I read and what I've seen, it should equal out nicely. This one is 29, this is 30. For the most part, I'm just gonna have everything run at 30, right? But then again, the main comp is at 24, so there's gonna be a discrepancy. Anyway, this is one of those things where you have to see it for yourself and play it through on your own computer to kind of have the eyes notice the issues, right? So that's the second reason why, because of the frame rate difference. So basically what we're gonna do is, first I'm gonna package it. I'll grab this and all of this minus the red solid that was being used to help see any gaps. So I want to just hide that so you can just see. And here's all the layers. And it runs up to 192. Right now it just shows 191, but it's 192 frames, which is basically 8 seconds when you run it at 24 frames per second. Whatever, it's just basically 8 seconds. But I'm gonna grab all of this. First, making sure that you have to make sure that these are pertaining to one specific thing. You don't want to grab things for different assets for the environment and just chuck it in here, because they'll take it away from the overall set. Anyway, so grab all of that. I'm gonna right click, pre-compose. Here it is. I'm gonna name it I guess pre-comp little dash, and then film strip. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Move all attributes into a new composition. Sure. Adjust the composition duration to the time span of the selected layers. Usually I think this is unchecked, but I have it checked on. So basically what this is saying, I think I talked about it before, forget, man. But if you have this checked on, the composition, the pre-comp that's going to be created is going to extend out further. You see how these are extended out? It goes on and on. We just can't see it. because in the main comp it's only 8 seconds. But with these being extended out, duplicated and extended out, they were extended out because there were gaps. So it's gonna make it so that it'll be the length of the layers. So just to be safe, it's good to have it like that, because you never know, you might want to go back in. So I just check it on, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, see, I pre-packaged everything, and when I go toward the end, right, if I click the pre-comp, see, it still gives me the flexibility to extend it out. See? Oh, but look at that. I'm missing the black film strip, which I'll talk about after. But the whole point is that this thing can extend out, and it can extend out. Wow, a bit too much. All the way up to here. And it's missing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm wondering how long it is. Whatever. Just want to stretch it back. It's just good to show this, how and why it does what it does. Okay, so, but I'm gonna go in here for the pre-comp film strip, but instead of selecting it from the main comp, I'm gonna select it from here. Because if you select the pre-comp and you go in here, composition settings, see, this is another thing that will piss off new learners, because it'll actually grab the main comp instead of this. You'd assume that if you grab this, logically it's gonna grab the composition settings, right? But it ain't. It's gonna grab the default. It's just, it is what it is. It's just stupid. So instead of grabbing from here, you have to grab from here. You have to. And composition settings, or Control K. Here we are. See, now I grabbed it. When you grab it from here, you can confirm that I grabbed it from there. It's another thing I want to talk about. And it looks like the length of the layers altogether within the newly made pre-comp, it runs up to 688, which is a lot. Which is kind of overkill when I duplicated the layers, whatever. So, but what I want to talk about is advanced. Here, preserve frame rate, advanced. Preserve frame rate when nested or in render queue. Preserve the frame rate. Preserve resolution when nested. Sure, why not? Let me see. Then here, frame rate, we're gonna change this to 30. There. I'll change this to full resolution. Basically over here that we're talking about in the preview. I'm gonna set to custom instead of social media, because I set to social media, so I'm gonna set it to custom instead. 30 frames per second, full, blah 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 blah. Duration, if anything, just make it what, 24 times 10 seconds, 240. We just make it 240 frames. I mean, a lot of these are flexible, right? I'll just make it to 240 instead of that 688 frames that it generated because of all the layers that I duplicated to make it the footage continuous and leaving no gaps. So this will be 10 seconds, 2 seconds more than the main comp, to act as a in between if I need those 2 seconds, whatever. So main thing is advanced, preserve frame rate. It will preserve this frame rate in here set at 30. See? While it is being nested within the main comp, which is at 24. So that's what we're doing. So this should be 30 because of majority of the B-roll is at 30 frames, and you'll also go into advanced, preserve frame rate. And if you want, you could click this on too, but this shouldn't really matter from what I remember or know. And hit OK. There. Alright, so I did that. I'm gonna go take a look inside, double click it. Here's the pre-comp. If you notice, the pre-comp is running at 30. My main comp is running at 24. Right? So even though this is gonna be nested, the pre-comp, here's the pre-comp, here's the main comp. I'm gonna kill off the pre-comp tab. Even though the pre-comp film strip is nested within the main composition, which is running at 24, this guy will independently run at 30. After Effects will do its magic and do its thing, blah 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 blah. So that's the major thing I wanted to share about that. Double click in here. Now we're in here. All right. And I want to test something. I'm going to grab the null, the film strip controller. I'm going to scale it down just to, well, the original size is at 110%. I'll jack it down to 20 just to see things. Oh, look at that. I'm still missing 1, 2 footage, 3 footage. See, a whole bunch actually, damn it. I'm gonna lift it up. I grab the film strip controller, X, Y, just to see. There I got exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 that I missed from the last video. Alright, I'm gonna show basically, I'm gonna lock out the film strip. That way I don't select it by accident. I'm gonna zoom in now, because you could grab the film strip, or you will end up grabbing the film strip, because it's on top of all the other layers. I'm just figuring out where it, there, see, right there, towards the end. There, this guy, this is the one. This is person walking on bridge, B-roll, and it ends there, but it does not continue. See, all these others are for the different footages at different slots. So this guy, I need to duplicate it. Person walking on bridge, Control D. I grab it and I yank it right there. And now it aligns because it's at 30 frames per second. It aligns perfectly. See? Flush. This one too. Yep. Which one is that? This one, the pizza. Oh, careful, careful. One second. Alright. Just nudge it over. There. There. Whatever. What else? Set this to half. Is there anything else? Is that it? No. There's still. Right here. Bridge. Red bridge. Night shot. this was also missed from the previous video. I make a duplicate of it, chuck it over so it continues. And should be next one should show the gap. See right there, there's the gap. Chuck it over there, filled it up. Next gap is here. Where is it here? Where the hell's the gap? What footage is this? There. Again, this guy. I should have done this way at the beginning. I had a feeling that I should have duplicated this a little bit more. This is what I mean by if I cross my T's, dot my I's, and make everything airtight ahead of time, right? Just to listen to my instinct, I would avoid stupid things like this where I burn more time figuring out what is the problem or what is glitching. There, yank it over, zoom in, there. Now it's not gonna have a hitch. Alright, good. Is there one more thing? Nope, looks like everything's good. Alright, I pause the video for a quick second. There is one last one right here. There, this guy. Red bridge, another one. Could have swore I had everything, but I guess not. So this guy right here, duplicate it, slam it over here so it doesn't have a gap. This is not a gap. Okay. Whatever. So now it's airtight. Okay, so that's all the footage. Alright, so that's good. Yep. So we gotta go back to main comp. And here's the main comp. Oh, I gotta reset the size of this. And it was at 110%. Yeah, 110. Then make this is at -3. Oh, there's another thing right here too. This guy. This is gonna come back to haunt me afterwards. The reason why is that I worked on a example set and it showed this. So again, being airtight, that's one of the other things. Whenever, if my instincts tell me to fix things like this, I should. So I'm just gonna go in, right click, new, shape layer. I'm gonna name this shape layer, and then fill in black color for strip, missing strip piece. Fill in color, missing strip piece. Actually, I'm gonna just name it fill in missing strip piece. Yeah. And then I'm gonna chuck it way at the bottom, so it's underneath. And then I'm gonna lock these guys out for a tiny bit, so I don't actually grab them by accident. And then go in here. This part I want to fill in, so I'm gonna just start around here, go all the way across to here, something like that. Make it sit flush, like so. right around there. It's stroke. I gotta turn off the stroke. I click on the word stroke, and I click on the red diagonal. Off, no stroke. Then fill color, make it black. Okay, there we go. There. That should do it. I'm gonna grab this, make sure it's pick whipped to the controller. There you have it. No, this is track matted. It's this pick whip. Stupid thing, man. Grab this stupid shit over there. Chuck it over there. There. Right, so that was freaking 20 minutes, man. Whatever. So now we're more or less airtight. If I grab this and I go up, chances are there's gonna be some stupid shit over here too. Yeah, this thing should be fixed. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna listen to my own advice. I'm gonna grab this. Actually, you know what? You know, I don't need to make down here. I know I'm not gonna reach the end, nowhere near the end. So that's fine. I'll leave it alone. Yeah, I'm not actually cutting corners. Okay. I think that's it. I do want to touch up on the edge because it's too digital and sharp, razor sharp. So I probably could go in here. Oh, that's the other thing I want to share. I want to grab the pre-comp. I want to show this part. If I grab the pre-comp, I'm in the main comp right now. I'm gonna close the pre-comp layer, the pre-comp position tab. I want to show the main comp. And here, if I lift it, you'll notice that it crops, right? Which is not what I want. This is where you go and toggle switches, and then click this on. For the pre-comps, what it does is, for comp layer, collapses transformation. So this will collapse transformation. Just click it on. That will magically allow so that it will show the entire strip. See? Yeah. But I want this up here. Turn on that. Turn on snapping. Snap it right here. Press V to get out. There. And that's how you set up the comp. So overall, unfortunately, it was 23 minutes. I have to blabber for a bit, but that's what it is. Yeah. So that's everything regarding the pre-comp. And to make it so that nested within it, it will still run 30 frames when it's nested within the main comp, who is running at 24. This guy will still independently run at 30 while being nested at the main comp running at 24. And even when you render it all out, it'll do its magic. And yeah, so that's the end of that video. All right, bye.